So here is the statement issued by the Military High Command. It's issued by the Department of Public Relations, the General Headquarters, Burma Camp, Accra, with a telephone number and an email address, and the date is 7th March 2022. It's entitled, "The Military Conducts Coup at Ashiaman, Targeted at Killers of Young Soldier." It's not very clear why the military is able to conduct a coup in parts of Ghana looking for a young soldier who has been killed. But we're here to understand all the details of that. So let's go on. It says, issued from the Department of Public Relations, says the military conducts coup at Ashiaman targeted at a young soldier. It's as follows. Personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces on Tuesday, 7th March 2023, conducted a coup in Ashiaman and its environs in a manhunt for some criminals who are suspected to have stabbed and killed a young soldier, Trooper Imoro Sheriff, in the early hours of Saturday, 4th March 2023 at Ashaiman Taifa. Trooper Sharif, who was stationed in Sunyani, was in Accra on a course and had sought permission to visit his parents at Ashiaman, where he grew up, but was found in a pool of blood in the early hours of Saturday near Ashiaman Hotel, near the Armenia Hotel in Ashaiman. Okay. The Ghana Armed Forces wishes to state categorically that the military operation, which was sanctioned by the Military High Command, was not to avenge the killing of the soldier, but rather to fish out the perpetrators of the heinous crime. Following the operations at the Ashiaman Taifa and Tulaku, the military personnel picked up about 184 suspects, aged between 21 and 47 years old, and have since handed them over to the military police and subsequently to be sent to the Ghana Police Service for screening and for further action. Okay. The statement continues. During the course of the coup, the personnel seized 29 slabs and 57 mini slabs of suspected Indian hemp and amnesia, among other forms of narcotics. The Ghana Armed Forces also wishes to place on record that the coup was not targeted at innocent civilians, but was an intelligence-led operation conducted on suspected hideouts of the criminals and crime-prone areas in the general area. The Ghana Armed Forces, however, acknowledges that, regrettably, some innocent persons might have been caught up in the operation and consequently suffered some distress due to the location they found themselves in at the time. The Ghana Armed Forces wishes to urge the general public to provide useful information, support the security agencies in weeding out criminals and miscreants from our communities, and to desist from shielding and conniving with such suspects in order to curb criminal activity in the country. It's signed by Brigadier General Agri Kwashi. He is the Director General Public Relations in Burma Camp. So that's what the Military High Command is accepting, that they had done a coup in Ashiaman. They say that the coup was not about avenging the death of the soldier. It was about finding the offenders. That's a bit complicated. The military does not have the power to be finding offenders. The police entirely deal with that. But this looks like a very special case in which a military officer has been badly wounded. Because when people are killed around the country, the military doesn't go there to do soup and look for people and find them. But when it's a military person, they do. When it's a military person, it's more serious. I agree. I mean, if people can see somebody who is a military person, but the people killed, I don't know whether they knew it was a military or they don't know. But the point is, can soldiers get into a community and do that? Should they do that? Does the law allow that? Should the law allow it? And this is not the first time we are seeing. We saw it in the Nchobwase when, unfortunately, Major Mahama was brutally murdered. We saw that happen. We saw a lot of police brutality. We've seen it happen in the past, every now and then. Those of you who are younger may not know, but when Kweku Ninja was killed in Ablekuma, there was brutality there. The police went in, beat up, killed everybody, and all that. That was the police. The military does it too. Can we understand what is the protocol that governs some of these things? When a customs officer, an immigration officer, a military officer, or a police officer is brutally murdered in such bizarre circumstances, we know that people deserve to be punished. But can the military marshal a platoon and say we are going into Ashiaman? From what we will be telling you, the story that Elvis will be narrating, you will know that what went into Ashiaman is more than a platoon. It's helicopters, armored vehicles. So there probably was one recce squadron, there was a battalion, 2 platoons, 3 platoons, maybe one company. And then they had the helicopters there as well. They went in and they arrested as many as 184 people within a matter of 2 hours. How does the law work with that? Okay, what is Ashiaman? Those of you who don't know anything about it. How does Ashiaman work? Who is in Ashiaman? Who lives there? Why is it so fearful? Why are people afraid of Ashiaman? Why is it that when they tell them, I'm going to Ashiaman, hey, be careful? Why do they do that? But Stonebwoy is not afraid of Ashiaman because he's their hero. Tonight we want to understand what Ashiaman is all about. Ibrahim Zebrilla will join me now to explain to us. He lives there. He knows a lot about it, and he's going to explain to us what Ashiaman is. Okay, so what's this Ashiaman we did?
So Ashiaman we did. This tells the story about nightlife in Ashaiman. Now, if you go to Ashaiman, the nightlife is very, very strong, especially
vibrant,
vibrant, especially on Fridays and Saturdays, and also on holidays, especially at the Community 22 area Signature. And it has become so vibrant that people from Tema now even move into Ashaiman to come to Signature for those 2 days. So Ashaiman
Signature is a what, nightclub?
The name of the pub. Yes, the nightclub, a pub area in Ashaiman, Community 22.
It's not dangerous?
It's not that dangerous. Now, security has improved at Ashaiman. The crime being talked about Ashaiman for now is exaggerated. It was heavy in the 90s. That's what we heard. In the 90s, that's why it was very heavy because, you know, a lot of the people in Ashaiman, a lot of them work at Tema. And Ashaiman is a place that we have a lot of traders and also a lot of people who work at Tema and also a lot of drivers. So Ashaiman basically developed as a result of Tema. You know, when Tema was developed by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and it was made an industrial city and also the harbor, it attracted a lot of people who were coming to this side of town to come and find job. So if I use myself as an example like this, my dad migrated to Tema to come and become a truck driver at the Tema harbor. So that they drive, they load goods to landlocked areas like Mali, Niger, Burkina. So because there was a lot of job there, that's how he came to Tema. And I was born in Tema, but because of cheaper accommodation, we had to move to Ashaiman. So that's how Ashaiman developed. A lot of people who come to seek for greener pastures here and want to get work in Tema or Valco or Tema Steelworks, because a lot of companies in Tema and also Habo, they end up at Ashaiman because of cheaper accommodation. And also one thing that's also resulted in Ashaiman growing much is a lot of soldiers who went for peacekeeping, then, like who went to Lebanon, who went to the Middle
Cambodia,
East.
yeah.
Yes, a lot of them, Bethlehem, when they came back,
Liberia.
they bought lands at that site. So when you go to Ashaiman, there are areas like Lebanon, areas like Middle East, areas like Bethlehem, and it's because of that.
Oh, because they went to Lebanon, Middle East, where they saw Bethlehem.
Yes.
Okay.
And they came there and they settled. Most of them bought lands over there and settled there.
So when they retire, they come there?
Yes, when they retire.
Or they even come there when they are still in the army?
They buy lands and they build over there. They start up their buildings over there. So that's how some of them also went there. So mainly it's because of the Tema harbor and also the work that's employment that a lot of people will get at Tema. That's how Ashaiman grew up. But you know, when they were structuring Tema, you know, Tema is a place that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah really structured by creating the Tema Development Corporation, TDC, and that place was really structured. But they didn't think of the fallout of other cities growing up as a result of Tema. And that made the development of Ashaiman a bit disorganized in a way.
Oh, okay, so people were going to stay there.
Yes, people were just
so
going to
Ashaiman has
stay
been
there
developing over the last 40, 50, 60 years.
Yes.
But now it's fully developed.
Yes, now it's fully developed. And also,
where does it sit in this relationship with Tema? Is it to the east, to the south, west, north, or is it part of it?
So it's separated by the motorway. Ashaiman and Tema are separated by the motorway.
Well, but the motorway straddles many more. So if you take the motorway roundabout, for those of us from Accra, we get to the roundabout. Where's Ashaiman?
Before you get to the roundabout, the overhead, you meet the overhead.
The one that goes to Sakumono?
Sakumono. No, before you...
Oh, I've seen that overhead. Yes.
The overhead goes to Tema and Ashaiman. So on your left is Ashaiman and on your right is basically Tema.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So people in Ashaiman, when they are going to Tema, where do they pass?
People in Ashaiman,
yes,
they just take a car and they use the overhead.
Oh, you cross over, you're in Tema?
Yes.
To community what? What two communities closest?
When you go to the Tema General Hospital community. There.
Oh, I see. Yes, okay. That's the overhead you are talking about. So
yes.
Ashaiman is here and Tema is there.
Tema is there. That's basically the difference between Ashaiman.
But Ashaiman is quite big.
Ashaiman is very big and also very populated.
So that's where Hebron is? Hebron near Ashaiman?
Hebron.
Yeah, there's a place called Hebron in that area. Oh. Yeah, Hebron like Bethlehem.
Oh, okay. So Ashaiman is one of the fastest growing communities in Ghana, even to some extent West Africa, because if you look at our population growth in Ashaiman, it's 4.5% of the population. Even the national average is 2.5%. But Ashaiman is 4.5%.
That's very interesting.
If you look at the voter population in Ashaiman, it's the fourth highest. You have about 168,000 people voting in Ashaiman per the last voter registration. When another registration is done, I'm sure it will surpass 170 or probably be nearing 180,000.
What accounts for the high what accounts for the high population growth?
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, you know, the highest, if you want the highest number of probably tribes in Ashiaman, you probably say the Evers.
Oh, I see. That's
yes.
interesting. I was going to come to that.
It's quite close.
The Evers are the highest
yes.
tribe in Ashiaman.
Yes, and it's because when they are coming to Accra,
oh, Volta region is not far.
Close,
Yeah.
Volta region is quite close. So most of them settle there. You meet a lot of them probably at Tabo Line, Taifa area there. That's where a lot of them are. And also we had a lot of herdsmen from the north coming to sell their cattle. That's how the Tulaku came about in Ashaiman. When you enter Ashaiman, the first one, that's the old Tulaku, where they used to sell a lot of cattle and all that. So a lot of people from the north too also started coming into Ashaiman because of that, because of the herdsmen and all that, and also a lot of trading. Ashaiman really developed, it was developed because of trading, because a lot of people who used to go to Tema from Dodowa to trade, when they were coming, they normally settle at Ashaiman when it was still going up. When they settle at Ashaiman to rest a bit before they continue.
Okay.
So trading is the biggest thing in Ashaiman.
What sells there the most? What do you find people selling there? If you
normally,
is there a market?
Yes, it's a market.
For
normally
foodstuffs?
Produce. Like in the market, and what's sold in the market normally, onions, tomatoes, meats.
And it's cheaper?
Because it's closer to Tulaku, so their meat is quite cheaper than other areas. Understand? So that's mainly what is sold over there. The biggest market, the Ashaiman main market, and also the Mandela market, which has now been moved to the Ashaiman Under Bridge area there. So that's
what
really
about religion?
Ashaiman.
Which religion dominates over there?
Ashaiman Christianity dominates.
Are you serious?
Yes, Christianity
Everyone
dominates.
thinks it's Islam.
A lot of people think Ashaiman is an Islamic
community.
but that's not the case. Christianity dominates over there. There are two main Zongo communities over there. One of the Zongos where I grew up, Zongo Laka, and also the main Zongo. But you find like the Zongos, a lot of people who came from Nigeria to settle in Ghana, and a lot of people from Niger and all that. They are those that you find mostly in the Zongos. But in the Zongos, you find almost every tribe in the Zongo.
Akan,
Dangbe, you find everyone.
Is that Dangbe in Ashiaman?
Yes, there are a lot of Dangbes too in Ashiaman.
So if Ewa is number one, who is number two tribe?
It will be difficult to tell, but I'll give it to probably the Ghana Dangbes or the Dagombes.
Dagomba?
Yes,
okay.
The Ghana Dangbes or Dagombes. But it will be very difficult to. The Ewes are really many over there. But for the other tribes, it will be difficult to get who comes next and who comes.
The young men there, what do they do?
So most of them either work, they either go to Tema to work at Valco, Tema still works,
Unilever.
or the companies Unilever, Nestle, or Tema Harbor. Or that's what mainly most of them do. Or some of them even come as far over here, this side of town to work. And some of them are also drivers. Most of them, like, that's one of the biggest trades too in Ashaiman, driving.
What's this here?
Most of them are also driving. So this is basically Ashaiman.
Okay.
How Ashaiman.
But are there people who do Sakawa?
Sakawa.
Yes, Sakawa.
It's everywhere. Sakawa is everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but there are some areas where it's densely concentrated based on internet capacity and friends who live together there.
In Sakawa, I heard Sakawa dominates more in Kaswa than anywhere.
Yes, I know that. But is it in Ashiaman?
Yes, it's in Ashiaman, it's in Tema, it's in everywhere.
Do the police come and do soup on them and things like that?
On Sakawa people, I
hardly see that.
But
what do the young women do? A woman between the age of 24 and 31, what would you find them doing in Ashiaman? Are they hairdressers? Are they seamstress?
Yes,
are they going out and coming in?
Just like you find everywhere, you find them doing everything. Some of them do hairdressing, some of them going to the markets, some of them doing just every other work.
What's the main hospital there?
The main hospital, I'll say that Ashaiman Polyclinic.
Okay, there's a polyclinic, Ashaiman Polyclinic.
There's a polyclinic over there, although at the moment they are redeveloping the place and it's taking some
quite
time.
A bit, eh?
Yes.
So currently there's no real health facility over there, because this story we're talking about, the guy was looking for a health facility.
Yes, most people when they are looking for a real government, this thing will go to the Tema General Hospital.
That's the nearest.
Yes.
That's quite far.
Yes. So most referrals are even done there to the Tema General Hospital.
So if you're talking about population growth, what about maternity situation? Do they have CHIPS compound there?
Yes, they have a lot of, they have CHIP compounds.
Where people can give birth?
Yes, and also a lot of private hospitals where people give birth. There are a lot of private hospitals in Ashiaman. That's one thing about Ashiaman. You know, when the crime rate in Ashiaman should give signal, before the crime rate was very high, you find it very difficult to get a lot of people establishing businesses or banks bringing their branches and other things in
But
Ashaiman.
now it's happening.
But now it's happening. Gone were the days if you wanted to go to probably MTN office, you have to go to Tema. Most of the branches of the companies were at Tema. But now Ashaiman have everything over there because the crime rate has dropped significantly. In Ashaiman now. So it's not as it used to be, but because the name still stands. And a lot of people don't know, but Ashiaman also bring up a lot of prominent people in our society.
We won't talk about
like
that.
Famously Stone Boy.
Yes,
and
yes.
he organizes the.
I wish you had a photograph of him. Do you
Stone Boy, I have a picture of him.
Oh yeah, this is our Stone Boy.
And he organizes.
Yeah, good evening, sir. How are you doing, man?
And he organizes probably the biggest free show in Ghana now. The Ashiaman to the World concert.
Yeah.
It's the biggest.
And it happens
show.
in Ashiaman.
And it happens in Ashiaman.
Where? Which part? There's a park there?
Yes, just closer the overhead. The overhead I would describe. Just there's a huge land.
Yeah, okay.
Over there. That's where he organizes the Ashiaman to the World concert.
And it's always free.
And it's always free, and huge artists always come. And also Thomas Partey, also from Ashaiman. He came to Ashaiman.
The incoming Black Stars captain.
Yes, he came to Ashaiman when he came to play a team in at Ashaiman called Revelation. That's after he came from his place, Dodowa. He was scouted over there by the Revelation, and they brought him to Ashaiman. And so that's where he played until he had a chance to play for Tema Youth, and then went to Atletico Madrid.
Oh, he started with Tema Youth, the league premiership team Tema Youth.
From Revelation, he went to Tema Youth, although he didn't play at all.
Does Tema Youth not belong to Parker?
Yes, yes, Parker.
Moses Parker?
No, not Moses Parker. It belongs to Palmer.
Palmer. It's
Yes,
Moses, that's his first name?
Yes, Palmer.
Okay, I think his name is Moses Palmer.
Yes,
Yeah.
Palmer.
Okay. Yeah.
He didn't play a lot of matches for Tema Youth to do. He didn't play too.
He played few and he was scouted straight to Europe.
Yes, and he was scouted straight to Atletico Madrid. So a lot of the crimes and the issues being told about. So when I read the military statement like this, so this is another person who originated for Ashaiman, Audu Saka.
I remember him.
95.
Yeah, Audu Saka, very, very good player.
Yes. So, and I read the military statement and they said that they were going to crime-prone areas and they went to Taifa. Anyone who is from Ashaiman will tell you that Taifa is not that kind of crime-prone area that we're talking about. There's an area in Ashaiman.
So what are Ashaiman people saying about the military soup? What are they saying?
The people of Ashaiman.
Yeah, after the Tuesday event, what are they saying? Are
so
they
after the killing, when the killing was done, there were a lot of rumors going around that the military would come in Ashaiman. There were a lot of rumors, but when it didn't
so people
happen,
were expecting it.
People were expecting it, but when it did the killing was done on Saturday. So when it didn't happen on Sunday and Monday, then people now thought probably it wouldn't happen again. But we heard that it was because of the independence that the military were engaged in on Monday. That's why it couldn't happen. So it took a lot of people by surprise on Tuesday morning.
Wednesday dawn.
Dawn. It took a lot of people by surprise. People were expecting it probably on Sunday and Monday.
Expecting means they were expecting the military to come
in
and brutalize them.
People. And there were people who were even saying that the military are scared of Ashaiman. That's why they are not coming. When it didn't happen on Sunday, there were people who were saying the military are scared of Ashaiman. They are scared to enter Ashaiman because they know what Ashaiman is like. And that's why they couldn't come to Ashaiman. But so the military took them by surprise Tuesday dawn. On a day to that, the rain had fell very heavily. And then, and so people didn't expect it to come at that time. And even up to now, yesterday I was in town, and a lot of people are still apprehensive. When they see a military man come, a lot of people start dispersing.
Okay. Somebody has just sent me a text. He said, "I ask your narrator whether he will take a wife from Ashiaman, but maybe he's already married. You're not already married, are you?"
That's the people have that perception. There are wife materials in Ashiaman. People have that bad perception. And you know, the current commander in Ashaiman, I know him very much, Supitana Usman. He's that kind of commander who does not sit in it. He goes on the field with his boys.
I see.
Supitana, he goes on the field with his boys to work. And the crime rate in Ashaiman has really reduced because you look at the work that
What's his name again? Superintendent
Usman.
Usman.
Yeah. Yes.
And
also the MC, a lot of lighting projects and a lot of development in Ashaiman actually is not that great because Ashaiman has people of Ashiaman have always accused governments of neglecting them because you realize that in a lot of the coastal communities, astro thefts have been done. But you come to Ashiaman, for instance, there is no astro theft. And there are a lot of bad roads too in Ashiaman, and no one is paying attention to it. So there are a lot of youth in Ashiaman are very agitated against governments because they think they are always neglected. Some even say because probably they don't vote for the NPP. And when the NDC also come, what they expect from them, they don't get. So a lot of the youth are very agitated against politicians in terms of the kind of development that come to Ashiaman. They think they are not properly treated because there are very bad roads in Ashiaman, and the kind of facilities that they see other constituencies enjoying, they don't enjoy it, because Ashiaman has bring up a lot of footballers, but when it comes to AstroTurfs that everyone is getting, no one has come to dance some at Ashiaman, and the few football pitches at Ashiaman, real estate agents are...
Maybe we can ask Thomas Partey to come and do one. Ashiaman deserves that from him.
Hopefully.
Ashiaman deserves that from him. Okay. So do the people, the youth in Ashiaman, do they know that the next election is between Dr. Baumia and maybe President Mahama? Do they know that? Okay, I'll leave it there.